So the first thing we're going to do is draw that center line. We're going to measure the 14 centimeters from here to there. That's 14. Okay. We're going to measure 1 centimeter on either side of this line. And we're going to draw that line. You measure in 2 points. That way you know it's parallel. And we're going to make these lines nice and long. Also, we're going to make this line here nice and long. I want to make sure that it's perpendicular. This is why I'm placing the ruler the way I am, with the short edge on this side. And then I'm just going to pull and extend. Now these lines are super long. You probably won't need them this long as you progress, but that's okay. For practice is good. And now here is the Welt, and I had the navy blue for this step. So I'm going to use the yellow chalk and measure 1 centimeter from the fold at 2 points. Take my ruler, same thing on the other side. And place it on top. And I'm going to get the blue chalk, and I'm going to mark the stop and start points right there, right there. Okay. More chalk. There you go. Now back to the sewing machine. Place them one on top of the other once again. Now you can see how the repetition of this will make you a lot more confident as you're doing the steps, right? So there they are, one on top of the other. Make sure that they're exactly one on top of the other. Start at the starting point. Give yourself 3 stitches and back tack. And now we're going to mark the cutting line on the back. The triangles. We're cutting the welt. Then I'm going to move that welt out of the way and cut the fabric. And I'm cutting right to the stitching line. See, right to the stitching line. Other side. Then you're going to take and turn the welt right side up. Now that one turned out much nicer than the last one, didn't it? So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to stitch as I showed you previously. So you're holding the welts together. You're holding them together like that. And you're holding a triangle down. Yeah, I know, you need 3 hands. Okay, and you're going to start off, back tack, and then continue. You're trying not to get any of the folded fabric, because if you do, there's going to be a pucker on the outside. Very nice. Now, let's do the other side. Now, as I said before, for this side, you're going to give it a little tug. If there are any puckers, like here, you're going to just give it a little click. There we go. You see that eased everything right out. That looks much better. So this triangle is going to be stitched, but you're going to, the welts, you're going to actually give them a little bit of a tug to keep them nice and taut. And also to keep them together. You don't want them separating. Perfect. That is just beautiful. Now this needs to be pressed, and then when you're applying a real pocket, you're actually going to hand stitch the welts together so they don't move on you. And here we are back at the iron. We're just going to press this lovely welt. Now, if I was doing this on a real jacket, I would have interfaced the fabric. But because this is just a practice piece, we're going through the steps I feel is more important. We will fine-tune everything later. I will have the instructions as I post videos on pants when you're making a real pair of pants or a real jacket or something. But this is just to go through the motions so you'll know what to expect. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to just hand baste that so that it will stay together. I happen to have white thread, and I'm not going to knot it. I'm just going to do like a back stitch. So I'm going to start here, and I'm going to back stitch. Okay, and then I'm going to get the welts and stitch like so, just like a almost like a pad stitching stitch. And you're not going to pull them too tight. You're going to just keep it so that it'll just stay closed for the construction process. And I'm going to just back tack over here, or back stitch over here. And that will keep them in place. Okay, now I didn't get you to cut any fabrics for the pocket sack itself beforehand because I wanted it to be crystal clear what's happening. So this is the top of the pocket, let's say. This is the top of the pocket. Okay, so that's the top. You're going to want to cut pocket lining from the bottom half down. And you're going to cut pocket fabric from the top part down. So this welt happens to measure 19 centimeters. So that's the width that I'm going to use. The pocket lining, I'm going to start from the stitching line. And we're going to go down, the 14 seems to be a good number, so 14. Okay, so this is 19 by 14. This is the lining. The pocket fabric, which is the part that comes in behind, you're going to start it from the top of the raw edge. And so let me mark where the 14 was. So that is where the lining is going to end. And the top part, the pocket fabric, is going to be 17. So 19 by 17 for the fabric. Okay. And don't forget, you have to leave seam allowance. To the lining, you have to leave seam allowance. So we're actually going to add, so 14, we're going to add 1 centimeter to the lining. So we're going to make it by 15. 14 plus 1. For the fabric, you don't need to, because you've measured right from the raw edge. Okay, so here is my pocket lining. I'm using red. And I want to have a rectangle, something that is 19 centimeters wide. Okay, so that's right here. And I have 14 plus 1 centimeter seam allowance. So that's 15. Now the pocket may vary in size and depth. You can make it as long or as short as you want. Like if you have a larger cell phone that you want to put in there, well then by all means make it longer. Okay, so this is the pocket lining. I'm going to give that a little bit of a press because it has a fold on it. This is the pocket fabric right here, which is the same fabric that your jacket or whatever it is that you're making would be. So this one is going to be 19 by 17 as we had measured. Okay, so we can actually use the corner here. So we're going to go 17. Then we're going to go 19. And then I'm going to measure down 17 from here again. Okay. Simple cut. And we're good to go. So here we are back at the machine. This is the top, so I'm going to be careful what I do here so I don't get the pocket upside down. It has happened. Okay, so that's the pocket that I'm using. This is the top. This is the bottom. I'm going to start out by adding the lining first because that goes on the bottom. So I'm going to place it on the welts like so. So it covers, because all I want to do is stitch right there, just on top or very close to that stitching line. And the only way I can do that is by placing them one on top of the other and I want the pocket sack to fall down. Okay, so there is the pocket lining, and you see what a nice finish you have? Now at this point, if you're going to be doing any kind of top stitching around the pocket, which is quite normal to do a stitching right at the edge over here. So right at the edge over there, you're going to do a stitching. This is the time to do it. You can't be doing it after the pocket is put in, because then you'll sew that pocket shut. So I'm going to go ahead and do it. And I'm just starting at the edge from here to here. I'm not going to go all the way around quite yet. Okay, so I'm just going at the edge. You can press this if you like before you go across and do the stitching. It's as close to the edge as you can get. See, I don't think I even got the pocket, but you can see the stitching is right there. Okay, then I'm going to add the pocket fabric, and the pocket fabric is going to sit just on top, wrong way, just on top like this. So it's just going to go over the lining, and I'm going to be stitching over here. So I'm starting at the edge, So you see how that's been stitched? Then I'm going to actually close up the pocket. Okay, so I'm going to start on one side and work my way to around the other side. So I'm going to start from here. Let them fall the way they're going to fall. Don't worry about them if they're slightly uneven, that's okay. It'll come out, it'll all come out in the wash. Okay? So I'm going to actually go right over that triangle. You can even get closer if you're brave enough. Now the corners, I'm going to slightly round them out. And of course you can mark this all before starting to sew. I guess I've had too many years practice, I don't even think of marking anymore. Let's just get on the machine and go. And then your back tack. Now, once you're done this, if you have a serger, you can serge all the way around. Okay, so there you have your pocket. But now, you did the stitching over here, you're going to do the stitching all the way around. That reinforces everything. Your back tack. Okay. Well, oops. This machine, it either goes, when it decides to go, it goes. And there's no stopping. But I'm not overly concerned because this is just a storyboard. Yeah. You're done your pocket. And you're done your storyboard. So you've gone through the whole process of putting in a pocket. Step 1, step 1, 1A, 1B, step 2, step 3, step 4, and the final one, putting everything together, including the pocket pieces.